Hey everybody, I'm in my car. Just got through taking the kid to her homecoming game because she plays in the band. But it's very interesting. A number of us are putting up this profile picture about supporting our own people when it comes to our magic, and supporting companies that may not be people of color, but they respect our religions and our traditions as well. So I'm really happy to see people doing it. I'm very confused about people who actually do have a financial stake in Conjure that wouldn't, but that's neither here nor there. But one of the things that I saw that was really kind of disturbing, and when people did share it, was people talking about it ain't real Conjure. I'm sorry, I hit obviously a dead space sitting here at the red light. They say it's not real Conjure if you don't get it out the yard, or you can do Conjure with a string and a Bible or something else somebody said. And you know what? It's so hilarious to me because I get that. But let's stop and think about, like, we're in the 21st century here, right? Okay. As a conjure worker, we didn't used to have websites either. It was word of mouth. It was not something all out and open. Hey, I'm a conjurer. Hey, I'm a witch. People knew, but they acted like they didn't know. Just like, going to the back of the bar or the laundromat or the big mama's house and picking up a package. That's the way people used to be, okay? Things have changed. I encourage you guys to read Spiritual Merchants. It talks about how these drugstore conjure shops came into being. Often, a lot of them were very commercial, very with artificial products, with snake oil, with things that really didn't do the work. So what I am enjoying is seeing people coming back to using herbs and roots and curios in conjure. Because I've gone to some conjure shops and the stuff look like Skin So Soft. Some of the stuff that, it's pink and purple and it's got food coloring and you don't see any herbs or any roots in it, and it's perfume oil. And that's not the purpose of this magic. The purpose of this magic is that it has a medical, medicinal, and magical and mundane properties. That's what makes this more of a way of life for African Americans traditionally than simply a magical practice. Many of us, and you can raise your hand if you want to, your folks was doing conjure and you didn't even know it. Florida water, floor washing, throwing salt over your shoulder, different ways, horseshoes, all kinds of interesting things that we used to do. People called superstition, homeopathic medicine, and the like. But a lot of that stuff fits into conjure. And so for people to sit up and say that if you gotta buy it from somebody, it's not real, I'm gonna take some umbrage to that shit, because the number one thing is, if you're like me, and I just finished an herb order from one of my places where I buy herbs wholesale, this stuff ain't cheap. And we do work to make sure that we use the right plant correspondences. We also ensure that we are using natural products. I'm not running around putting glitter in my shit. So I'm sorry, some people just can't go out. I got a whole ass garden, okay, and I cannot go and pull everything out of my garden that I need. I'm trying to learn how to plant this stuff, because I gardened with my grandmother when I was a child, and then from the time I was 11 until 2 years ago, I lived in an urban area. I was lucky if I could do a container garden. You hear me? So that's why I bought my house. I'm like, how I'm gonna be somebody's root woman and I ain't growing nothing? We were looking for juniper leaves today, and I said, shoot, I might just go plant a bush so that I can have juniper leaves, okay? But the reality of the matter is, I wrote a blog post about it. I take some real umbrage, right? Urban city dwelling practitioners, especially those who do not want or cannot store five-finger grass, comfrey root, licorice root, devil's shoestring, may want to practice magic. Yes, it is very important for you to know what these herbs look, smell like, whatever, okay? And I'm going to try to sell more herbs because I do get them wholesale, okay? But you can be called, exactly, Lisa, you could be called to practice the magic of your ancestors wherever you live, okay? And some people don't work with ancestors either. They just work with the spirit of the root. Those are individual things. I'm at home. I'm sitting here in the driveway, and I'm about to let y'all go because I'm running my engine. I'm scared to turn it off because I'm afraid it's going to do something. Let me see. I don't think it's going to do nothing dumb. Yeah, it's not going to do anything dumb. But what you got to understand is this. Times have changed. Yes, I love all this summer. Every product y'all got with basil in it, rosemary. What else did I use this summer? Like lemongrass, burdock root. I get that from the grocery store. And yes, we do put in our witch boxes list. We're not going to put anything in a witch box that you can get at a grocery store. We're not trying to cheat people. So for people who call themselves traditionalists and want to say that it ain't Conjure if you don't get it out the yard, I'm sorry. You know, everybody does work differently. You know, I don't mind if a person says, and that's the thing, another person said something today. You know, when you tell people that there's no rules, there are rules for certain traditions, okay? I was in a group earlier and somebody was like, well, there are really no rules to having altars in your bedroom. Well, my tradition there is. And my ancestors are not to be seeing me naked and fucking. And at all costs, if you can't put your altar out of your bedroom, you at least need to have it in a cabinet with doors. But you got everybody out here freeballing, doing whatever they want to, and they don't have a tradition. And that's fine. Cool. You know, do you. But the reality of the matter is, if somebody is moving towards a particular tradition, you don't know that. When they ask the question, give them the range. Some traditions have rules. Some don't. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't get pissy when somebody says you're wrong. And so for any of you that want to sit up and say that if you got to buy it from a merchant, you ain't doing it, you're wrong. Because I know that I'm doing work every day. This magic has had a tremendous impact on my life. And because of that, I stand behind what I do. That's why I sell the products. If I didn't believe in them, I wouldn't sell them. So for all you people that want to say that we're not legitimate because we're actually selling people products to empower them to do their own magic, you're full of shit. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, because that's the type of motherfucker that I am. I'm going to tell you that you're full of shit. Okay? But what I am going to tell people is this. Be honest. Sell good products. Buy organic when you can. I buy my products for my business the same way I feed my body. Probably better than I feed my body sometimes. So, just because there's a website, and you all also have to understand this, just because it's got a fancy label and the website's popping and all of that, doesn't mean the products are, okay? That has nothing to do with it. Now, I try to keep a professional persona at all times. That's the way my mentors trained me, and that's the way I think I should be. I think I should have good-looking labels. I'm computer literate. I know how to do all this stuff. I'm artistic. So, and I'm not going to make anybody make me ashamed for making my products look good. Okay? However, if you go to my website, I don't just show you pretty packaging. You can see shots of herbs and root mixtures, you know. If you have an allergy issue and you want to contact me and ask me if a particular herb or root is in a product, I'll let you know. Why? Because I keep my recipes consistent as well, because that's the way I was trained. But don't let anybody tell you that because you walked in or you went to the store or you didn't pick this shit out your yard. Most people don't have yards. And if they have them, they don't have gardens. So stop it. Okay? I have a garden. Some things were successful. Some things weren't. It happens. Crops fail. So am I supposed to not use 5-finger grass because I got to buy it from somebody else and I couldn't grow it? Or Am I supposed to buy 5-finger grass specifically because I want to do money work? Or am I going to go and buy a product with 5-finger grass in it and buy it from somebody who is honest to sell you the real thing and not oregano? So, people always have haterade. And I really, really need to get the hell off Facebook. Okay? What Facebook has done has really grown my business. And the Daughters of the Moon have helped me. And black women have helped me. But sometimes those same black women and men can sit up and spew such bullshit sometimes. You know? At a time when we really need to support people that are really out here trying to do an honest thing, who really practices magic, because any single person, and if you are on here right now and you have been to my house, you know that I am not new to this. I am true to this. When you come into my house and you see how I live, you will see that I am not fucking around. So, I can't speak for everybody else. I would never sit up and say that somebody's products are fake. Even if I don't like that person, even if that person's political views don't go with mine, even if that person has disrespected our religions. No, that's not my place. But what I'm going to tell you is this. When you order something from me, it's going to be legit. And if I can't get something to meet your needs, I'm going to let you know. Now, if you can find anybody else like that and you have great working relationships with them, by all means, go to them, especially if they're people of color. The purpose of that profile picture was not to say, don't buy from white people. The purpose of that profile picture is to say, don't buy from white people who do not revere our religion, who thinks we're in a game here, that it's fantasy, that we're role playing, okay? Buy from people who are about it, who are about that life, okay? So, I don't have no more time to keep talking to folks. People have pissed me off today. The full moon must be on and popping. The great thing is, I know that my ancestors and my spirits have kept me. They've kept me a long time. A long time before I even have to roll down the window because I'm starting to sweat. I'm sitting here in a shut car. That's another thing. Man, it gets hot in a car real quick. I don't understand how people could leave their kids in a fucking car. But that's another story for another time. But, you know, buy from whoever you want to. But I'm thinking, you know, it's the same thing. I don't want people buying from me if they don't know what they're doing. I would much rather... Yeah, Aries moon, man, look, folks always want to fight. See, people like to talk shit. I like to fight. So, you know, I have to watch myself. But my whole thing is this, you know, I'm blessed, whatever. You know, there are days where this owning this business is oppressive. It's hard. You know, you guys love the stuff we do, and while that feels really good, I don't have room for much else. So, you know, it's not like, you know, I'm becoming a millionaire doing this. I'm doing this because I love it. I'm doing this because every single dime I get from you all, and Shadow can attest to this, we just roll back into $100 and some herb order, $100 and some essential oil order. We ain't sitting up here balling. I got a whole ass job. Okay? So think about that. We're doing it because we love this. We love our people. We love our practices. And what we're doing for us is very, very much real. And yes, it's going to have some 21st century accoutrements because we move, we progress, you know? That's why I'm able to talk to mostly, and it is mostly black women who want this training, just like this. And I teach them. I design online courses for a living. I've been doing it for 20 years. Because they don't have anybody to teach them. So, the information that I'm sharing, that ain't real. Okay? That's just not real. It just doesn't work if somebody's doing it via a screen. And then, what about when they come here for 4 days because they don't live here their entire lives? What they've learned has no value and it isn't real? Give me a break. Folks need to quit. Stop hating. There are different iterations of the way we practice our magic. There are different methods, there are different rules, there are different practices. There are even different substitutions that people can make. In some traditions, they don't allow substitutions, okay? You know, like abracamino. If you're going to do road opening, you know, I wouldn't substitute that. And then it's also your personal preference. But please, don't sit up here and tell somebody that because they didn't run outside and pick this shit out their yard, it ain't real. Because I want to know who doing that. Where they doing that at? I want to know how many people. And I do go out to my yard and pick some things. And I'm growing things. But I'm not going out here and picking everything. And I ain't trying to perpetrate no fraud and sit up here and lie to you and tell you that I do. And then people always want to talk about the church this and the church that, and you can learn some conjure. I don't worship Jesus Christ. And my ancestors who were here practicing this work first did not either. That came later. So yes, you can find the mothers of the church that will, you don't even need a root, but that ain't always necessary root work. There may be some form of conjuration where they can put their hands on you, lay hands on you, anoint you with some plain ass olive oil, prophesize you to the point they will tell you what color underwear you have on. Yes, you can get that in some churches, but most churches have dug that shit into a grave, put it deep underground, and covered it with a whole bunch of bullshit. So don't tell me that the only way I'm going to get conjure is to go to a Southern black church, okay? Because when I go down south to my people, and the same things, I'm a devil worshiper. My grandmother didn't even allow playing cards in her house in Alabama. Why? Because they were divination tools. So don't tell me that all these black Southern Christians have the key to conjure. They're the reason, actually, that we don't. Most of them. And yes, just like in Chicago, you go to the spiritualist church on the west side and they'll give you Reiki. They don't do, and they'll give you a psychic reading. And that's not what we know as a spiritualist church. Now, you go over on 63rd Street, you're going to get read, you're going to get anointed, you're going to get possessed. Okay, there's a prophetess in the pulpit. But you ain't going to find that in every black church. Sorry. Exactly. Playing cards. See, we was heathens when I was growing up. My other grandma, she was a psychic. She saw dead people. She was into astrology. We played cards all the time. Bid whist, which I never learned how to play, but I love listening to black people play bid whist. My mama taught me how to play spades. I ain't know shit from Shinola about these cards being divination tools until I started practicing. I just thought my grandmama didn't like to, and down in Alabama, didn't like gambling. But when you wasn't gambling, what's the problem? So, you know, while people are always trying to legitimize or delegitimize people, that's not what this is about. That's not the purpose of us saying support people of color. I don't want you to support people of color who are charlatans. I don't want you to support people of color who give you artificial colorings and glitter in your shit. I don't want you to support people like that. And I want you to support people who are not people of color, who have the utmost reverence for our traditions, because sometimes you can't always get something from a person of color. I am not stupid. But a lot of folks want to act like I am. And I really ain't got no time for that. So, excuse me while I go reclaim my time. Hello, Michelle. I love you, girl. I see you. I always see you. And I love you. And I love everything you do. And don't ever think that your activism goes ignored. Because I'm watching. And I know you are. Okay? And everybody else here that I look at and see what you do and see what you post and see how you're doing it. I try to, you know, come in and look every now and then, you know, when you're on the toilet, try to take a break, you know, and see what people are up to. And I watch people, but I'm really not going to have people trying to discount what we do, link us to a false God that is the nature of our oppression, to try to delegitimize what we're trying to do here. Because honest to God, y'all, I could have probably a lot of fun, do a lot of stuff, see a lot of movies, do a lot of shit if I wasn't doing this. And some days I wonder, man, I tell people I can sleep when I'm dead. People are always asking, have you seen this? Have you read this? No, I actually haven't. And you know what? I really do think I'm going to take some more time for that. I really am. And these groups, I have like maybe 3 or 4 groups that I really do love. My friends run them. But it doesn't matter. When you run a group, and my group is just for my customers. But when you run a Conjure group, you can't really rein all these people in. And so the amount of fuckery and misinformation that is rolling through, even when you are adminning and trying your best, and the questions that some of these people ask you, you be like, oh, no. Somebody asked the other day, was sex magic more potent if you didn't use protection? We were like, what? You better go wrap that shit up. Your life is more important than your sex magic. It's unnerving. It's disconcerting that we do have people out here practicing magic that don't know a goddamn thing. But one thing I know, and one thing that I'm just going to have to hold on to, because I am a teacher. I have been a college professor. I don't want to tell y'all how long, because that will make me older than the gray hair in my head. But I'm going to tell you this. I hate to see a fool. And a fool hates correction. I hate to see somebody who is misinformed, a sour jar to bring a lover back, or graveyard dust that's mulling. Please, stop the madness. I mean, even Google searches can pretty much rule out some of the dumbassery that I see in these groups. And so, for the most part, I just don't. Every now and then, I got a little time on my hands. I go in these groups, I answer a couple questions, and it never fails that somebody is going to get pissed off because they don't like the fact that they ain't right. And I'm sorry, this is magic, and magic does have rules and different traditions, and what may be a rule for one tradition may not be a rule from others, but there are also some truths. And then people want to get into that what is truth bullshit. Yeah, that's just like a photographer who can't focus a picture talking about it's their style. No, you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. There's a difference. So, when you're giving people information, you should speak on what you know. You should not tell somebody to just wing it. I blocked her before she could block me in one of these groups, because she said it was okay that, everybody has different rules about having ancestors in your bedroom. And I'm like, no, some traditions have rules. And if this person is leaning towards a different tradition, or a tradition in general, and Lord, they really need a teacher, putting her ancestors in her bedroom may not get her the best results. In fact, it could be detrimental to her spiritual growth. So I'm going to sit up and say something. And I really don't give a flying fuck if you don't like it. Because I didn't say that there are absolutes. I said that some traditions say no. And you need to be informed. You need to be informed before you start putting up altars. Y'all don't know, what I've been going through as far as my own spiritual education this past year. But I've had to undo a lot of stuff. Stuff that I was taught was right. And that may be because of the differences in the region. Because voodoo can be different everywhere. Or it just could be the fact that people didn't get quite the right information. And like I said, I ain't going to sit up there and tell you you're wrong. I'm going to sit up and say what is wrong for me, in my tradition, in my spiritual house, what my mambo taught me. Because that's what we're supposed to do as elders. You got a lot of new people coming into this craft who don't know their ass from the hole in the ground. They don't have a pot to piss in, nor a window to throw it out of. And I'm not going to send them on wild goose chases, buying things that they don't need, number one. Putting up altars to deities that they have no relationship with, number two. And just doing it wrong. You know, I love people, but I really dislike them too. I love you like they say, with the love of Jesus Christ. But that don't mean I gotta like you. And I don't like some of y'all. Because some of y'all just want to go and do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it. And man, I just didn't know magic rolled like that. I really didn't. I thought magic was something that you studied. I thought it was something that you devoted your life to. I thought it was something that you used to improve your life and the lives of others, and at the same time could use it for justice, retribution, okay, and retaliation. Yeah, both. But you can't do that if, first of all, you can't do all that cursing and dark magic until you learn how to improve your life. I've got people coming to me talking about they want to learn magic, but they have self-esteem issues. Well, first of all, we're going to have to work through these issues, because you're going to have to believe in yourself. You're going to have to believe that you are a God. You're going to have to believe in your own divinity if you are going to practice magic. You know? That's why we got these people making really bad mistakes. Sometimes messing up their lives, sometimes going crazy. I know a girl who had so many spirits up in her, they made her kill herself. Fucking around with stuff. She had no idea what she was doing. And even though she was warned, she kept doing it. She's dead now. So, y'all do you, you know. But if I say something to you, I ain't really trying to hear your clap back. I got a client pulling up in my yard right now, so I gotta go. Y'all be blessed. 1 minute, honey, I'm gonna pull into the garage. Y'all take care. I got a client.